Good morning. We're headed to the base of Grizzly Peak there, and that's where we're going to pick up the trail over to Bond Pass to our southeast. And right over there now is the trail. Right up there is the trail to Bond Pass or to Emigrant Pass. Now, Emigrant Pass is actually a low flat in this meadow, dividing Grizzly Meadow from Emigrant Meadow. So Emigrant Pass is actually a very low feature. Now, the trail up to Emigrant Pass from Levitt Meadow, West Walker's down there, from Big Sam is over there, from Brown Bear Pass, Kennedy Meadows is there, and now we're going to head over to Bond Pass. So you can see how this trail junction here at the base of Grizzly Peak is kind of a main trail junction, you know. Now, we just passed the unmarked junction that goes down to Horse Meadow. Okay, so that one's unmarked. And this trail junction means that you can craft lots of loops, you know, say coming up from Bond Pass and you want to head back over to Levitt Meadow. Well, you cut through here, run down to the Emigrant Pass junction, take a right, head down to West Walker, and you're back on your way to Levitt, and so on. We're just a few feet south of the Bond Pass, Emigrant Pass, Brown Bear Pass trail junction. And you see this unmarked trail junction moving off to south or southeast. Yeah, pretty worthless. I've taken it before. No real point to it. It goes higher, doesn't offer great views or nothing. We're to the west of Grizzly Peak right there, and we're heading southeast to Bond Pass, where we're going to turn southwest down Jackman Canyon. Looking down toward Horse Meadow, we're on the Tahoe Yosemite Trail between Big Sam and Bond Pass, the Tungsten Road. You can see the ridge yonder with snow. That's the border of Yosemite going right across the crest of that. It's lowering down to Bond Pass, so we're going to go around this and work our way over past Summit Meadow, Snow Lake, the upper reaches of Emigrant Wilderness, go over Bond Pass. We're looking west from the TYT here, just a little bit south of Grizzly Peak, and Grizzly Peak Junction's right down there. Okay, so the trail down to Horse Meadow is right along there. Okay, so if you go down, you're going to hit into this canyon here, and Horse Meadow's down there. And then the junction coming up from Horse Meadow comes up and splits down there, and it comes up to Summit Meadow, or it comes up to Grizzly Peak here. See what I'm saying? Summit Meadow over there, and Snow Lake is right beneath that horn over there. Okay, so then on the TYT, we're going to hit the trail coming up from Horse Meadow once we drop over this, and then the trail cuts over to Snow Lake once we cut over this. Okay, and then down there we got Horse Meadow sitting above Huckleberry Lake, that big lake down there, pretty sure. Well, I don't know if we can see Huckleberry from this one, so I have to look at the map. Yeah, that's Lake Maxwell down there. And then if you come in our direction here east, you'll go down from Lake Maxwell and you'll drop down into Horse Meadow, and Horse Meadow will come up here, and then you'll come up either over to Grizzly Peak, over to our northeast, or you'll cut up to the southeast up to Summit Meadow. Real nice. Hard hike up. Now from Horse Meadow you can also cut over to Bigelow and Black Bear Pass through the weather station, through the snow reporting station there. It's a rough trail, but it's doable on foot. Not recommended for horsies. There's Bond Pass up there on the ridge over there. Not too far, not too high. We'll be in Yosemite soon. We're approaching Summit Meadow now and Snow Lake. Snow Lake is over there. Bond Pass is right over there across Summit Meadow. And this is the Tungsten Road. We actually on the, I believe it was World War II mine road. And down there we can see the trail junction in the meadow to bring us to over to Snow Lake. To the right. Or Bond Pass to the left. for southbound backpackers. Snow, Bigelow, and Black Bear lakes to our right. Bond Pass to our left. Bond Pass brings you into, or us actually, right up there. Brings us, that's the Yosemite boundary at the crest of that neck of mountain there. That's Bond Pass. And that brings us into the Jackman Canyon, which, yeah, that's where the PCT is. We meet the PCT and the TYT join there. And down there we got Bigelow and Black Bear Lakes. And behind the trees here, underneath the Bear Mountain, we've got Snow Lake. Meadow. And we're headed south, Bond Pass. It's right up there. We're gonna climb up there and up around the Bond Pass. Snow Lake. Snow Lake is We're southbound, approaching Bond Pass from the north. That's Summit Meadow right down there. We're in the Emigrant Wilderness. About to enter Yosemite National Park at Bond Pass. being attacked by mosquitoes right now, in case you're curious. And there, my friends, is Bond Pass, gateway, sort of southern Yosemite, northern Yosemite backcountry. Bond Pass, elevation 9,800 according to Yosemite, elevation 9,712 according to Emigrant. There's Yosemite. Hey, Bond Pass. Tahoe to Whitney. We're here July 27th, 2010. We just came up from Kennedy Meadows doing a leg of the Tahoe to Yosemite Trail between Kennedy Meadows and Bond Pass. Now we're going into Yosemite and we're going to hit the PCT, Tahoe to Yosemite Trail, Tahoe to Whitney Trail, and next stop Tilden Loop. All out from Bond Pass. Lake Pass is right over there. We're going to hit the Jackman Canyon at the bottom of this little spur trail coming down from Bond Pass, which connects with PCT.